What's up guys, Intellitech Studios here, and today we're going to be doing an unboxing of the brand new, freshly released Dyson Ball Animal 3 Extra. Now, I bought this machine from Dyson, and I also got, as part of a promotional deal, a $100 value attachment set. Although, note that if you buy this machine from Dyson and you get that attachment set, the attachment set will come later, so you're not going to get it in the box. The vacuum will arrive first separately from the attachments, but that's the way to do it anyways, because of course getting the vacuum is more important. Now I will show you how to unbox this, how to assemble it, and then afterwards I'll go into the story about how I specifically ordered this, because it's pretty interesting. Now please note if I sound really weird, I do not have any hearing in my left ear right now, and it hurts really badly. So as a result, my balance is really weird. I can't hear properly, and I'm very dizzy, and I don't feel very good. So even though I'm very excited to get this machine, there is that's the reason why I don't sound it in the video. But nevertheless, we're still going to power through because I just got this today, and I want to open it up. So first thing we're going to do, now whenever you first get this, it's going to be in an outer box. So you're going to want to pull the box out of the boxception. And I actually really like this new Dyson box. It's very minimal, very environmentally friendly. And the top of the box where you'd open it is actually glued shut, not taped shut. So you will need to find a way to melt that glue, either by cutting it with a knife or perhaps using a hairdryer to soften the adhesive. I've elected to cut it, so I've already done that off camera. So, opening this up now, the glue on the front of the box has also started to tear, so this is starting to move a little bit. But we're just gonna open this up, and it's possible. It looks like that it really wants me to open it this way. I wonder if it will let me. It actually might. No, maybe not, because it's not really designed. Well, at least this will have some give to it when we're pulling out the pieces. So actually the first thing that we pull out, in my case, now I have the extra model. So the extra model comes with the Dyson Groom tool and the tangle-free turbine as extras, and the Ball Animal 3 Complete, the version you can buy direct from Dyson, comes with even more. So I got the extra. This is the highest end model at most stores, but if you buy directly from Dyson, you have a complete version as well. The only difference is the color of the cyclone and the attachments. So this is the Dyson Groom tool that comes with the extra model. Everything seems to be packed in cardboard, which I really like. So this is a really interesting attachment. I'll do a video on this at a later date. The idea is that this allows you to groom your pet. Now you essentially push this button down, and that reveals these bristles that you can brush your pet with, and then you can attach it to your vacuum when you're done, let go of it, and that will pull all the hair off the bristles and suck it into the machine. Or if you don't want to use it attached to the vacuum, you can just use it as a normal groom tool and then let go of this, and that can drop the hair directly into the trash, whatever you want to do. So that's pretty interesting. I don't know if my dog will allow me to use this on her. She might run away. So that's part of the reason why I didn't want to buy one specifically, but getting one as an extra, no pun intended, is pretty nice. So there's that. Now here we have the star of the show on the Ball Animal 3 series of cleaners. We have the brand new re-engineered cleaner head. So this will actually just slide. Actually, no, it won't. So why don't you slide? Okay, there we go. So this is the new cleaner head. So it has the hair removal vanes. Basically, it has a line of red combs at the top, and it also is the first full-size Dyson upright in the United States to have both a direct drive brush bar and a suction control slider. So I'll play with this later to see exactly what these settings do, but by default it comes on the high pile setting, so it appears you may need to adjust this out of the box and put this on the middle setting, perhaps, to get an easier pushing motion. And then I believe this setting, opens up these gates. One of these settings, either this one on the right or this one on the left, opens up these vents, and the middle setting opens up these little bridges right here. Otherwise these are closed. So you can always play with that on your carpet and see what works the best. but having that option is very nice because a lot of people on the last generation Dyson, which you can see is actually behind the box, have complained about it sticking to certain types of carpeting and being very difficult, if not impossible to push. So hopefully that should address that big problem. Now thankfully I've never had that problem with my Dyson, but having it addressed for those who need it is nice too. So here we have our wand, looks identical to the last one. Pull this paper off. So looks identical. Perhaps if you had a Ball Animal 2 or something, it'd be a different color, but I mean, color doesn't really matter. So we have the wand, we'll set that aside. And let's see, right here we have our documentation. Very nice. I like the way all this is packaged. Has a manual for the pet groom tool that I showed you. Okay. Piece of cardboard right there. Ooh. Down here we have a booklet with some papers in it. And then when we open this up, okay, you can see right here we have our combination crevice tool and dusting brush. So we've got some cardboard right here protecting the brush, so we're just going to fold this out of the way. Or we can just rip it off. Okay, well, there, that works too. So you can see you have a very nice long crevice tool. Now, I've never owned a Ball Animal 2. I've owned a Ball Animal 1, which is basically the same thing, but one of the few differences between those two is this tool. So if you have a Ball Animal 2 or Multifloor 2, then you're used to this tool already. You have this brush that you can slide on the end. But the difference between this and the older variant is the tool is a lot longer, and you actually do have suction release holes on the crevice tool, so that's pretty interesting. So you can either remove the brush entirely and just have a long crevice tool, or you can slide the brush on the end and either keep it out of the way for your crevice tool or slide it onto the end to have a very nice soft dusting brush. So that works very well. Looking forward to using that. And right here we have our tangle-free turbine. Again, this is something you get on the extra model. So that opens up right there. So excellent tool. Had no problems with it. Love using this tool on my other Dysons, so I have a spare. Or realistically, I'll probably just sell it. Right here we have our handle. I love the fact that the packaging is very eco-friendly. We just have paper and cardboard, very recyclable. So if you want to recycle this packaging after you're done, or reuse it, or even just burn it, you can do that very nicely. I've heard some people say this handle is different than the old handles. It looks the same to me. The wand cap is red now, instead of gray or purple or yellow or whatever. But that's that. So that's a handle. Perfect for handling the vacuum. Alright. So, right here is this little adapter. So what this does is you install this on the machine. It allows you to store the stair tool and the upholstery tool on board the machine, or the stair tool and the combination tool, excuse me. And I'll show you how to do that in a sec. And right here, and I just dropped it. Right here is the stair tool, also known as the upholstery tool. This is the same as every Dyson has been for the last decade. So that's fairly standard, nothing new there. We're going to remove this cardboard. This is packaged very well. I love the way Dyson packages things. So the hose, you can see the hose is already attached, so we don't have to worry about that. Now we grab the carrying handle, and we're going to pull out the machine. It's going to be a little bit tricky to pull this out. It appears there are some stoppers in here to keep this from coming out. So I'm going to have to find a way to finagle those out of the way. Okay. I'm just gonna... this is probably not recommended. I'm just gonna... No. This is the hardest part. Okay. Wiggle this out of the way. And pull the cord out with it. Okay, and now the the power head is not on, so it's going to be a little bit unstable. But here it is. This is the machine. We can see the cord right here. So we're going to untangle the cord. Dyson gives you a free twist tie, which is always a great feature. So we're just going to untwist this. There we go. The cord seems like it's a lighter shade. That's interesting. All right, so I'm going to twist this down a little bit. And I'm going to show you how to assemble this real quick. My apologies, for some reason my external mic has died, so it's going to get quieter when I get close to the machine, but still. The assembly on this is incredibly simple. That's one thing I love about Dysons. So the way we're going to install this is pretty self-explanatory. So the power head right here, we're going to take the base of the machine, we're going to lift this up, and we're going to place this down over the power head. Actually, it's probably easier to lift the power head up to the machine until it clicks into place. We're going to lean this back and make sure this clips into place. Oh, okay. It can be a little squirrely. There we go. So if you heard that click into place, now it is on all the way. And if at any point you need to remove the power head, you would just press this button so it will clip out of the way and slide the power head off. So that's very simple, very easy. And when you slide it back on, it clips into place right there. Now, there we go. So you have to kind of wiggle it a little bit, but once that clicks upwards, the power head is installed. And that was incredibly simple. Even simpler than the older generation of Dysons. So that is that. So the next thing we're going to do I'm just going to turn this up so you can see that. We're going to grab all these other pieces just like that. Slide this forward. So we're going to take our handle and simply put it with the handle facing forward. We're going to slide it in the top of the machine until it clicks down into place. Hear that click? We're going to lift up the wand cap. Now we're going to take the hose and we're going to take the wand. We're going to press the red button on the hose and slide the wand down into the hose beyond where the click is. Then we're going to line this up with the spine of the machine. We're going to push the wand down until it sits flush inside the handle. So once it sits flush inside the handle, we can close the wand cap. And now that is installed, and the machine itself is installed. But the last thing we need to do, because I would assume you want to have these these two tools on the side of your machine. So we're going to press this red button to release the cyclone assembly, which we have to do to pull off this paper cover anyways. So this is here to prevent the cyclone from getting scratched. Although some users have noted that their cyclone was scratched out of the box, thankfully mine looks perfect. Now, since mine's the extra model, it has the copper cyclones. If you buy the standard Ball Animal 3, it'll be silver, and if you buy the complete, it'll be gold. It's just a fun little touch there. So right here, we have this little adapter. Basically, this is an attachment holster. We're going to line this up right here and push it down until it clicks into place. Hear that click? So now that that's in, we can put the bin back on. Clicks into place very easily. Wow, perfectly simple. Then we're going to take our stair tool and clip it in right here, just like that. And we're going to take the combination tool and click it in right here, just like that. So now that we've done that, we can wind up the cord. There's a lower cord hook right down here and an upper cord hook right up here that swivels. We're going to swivel the upper cord hook into the upright position. And now we can take the cable. Now it'll be a little bit tangled up whenever you first get it out of the box. That's fairly normal. So it's going to be kind of a rat's nest of cables, but that's okay because rats are cute. And we're going to completely, well, it's going to get tangled up rather much. But once you wrap this up a few times and the cable kind of contours to the way that you'd be using it, it's not going to get tangled up nearly as frequently. So now we just wrap the cable around both the upper and lower cord winders. well, either until you run out of cord, or in my case, until you get it tangled. So this is exactly how it would be. I did buy this machine, so this is what you'd likely experience as well. So be prepared for it. Tangle, tangle, tangle. So wrap this up. 35 feet of this cord, so more cord to wrap up, but that's good because it means that you'll be very careful till you don't want to bunch up the cable. And since there is a good amount of cable, that means that you won't have to plug this and unplug it very frequently. And we secure the clip to the edge of the cable, just like that. Now I've noticed that the cable kind of pushes on the brushes a little bit, so hopefully that doesn't cause any problems with that. And that is that. Our Dyson Ball Animal 3 is now fully assembled. Now, in the case of the extra two attachments, which in this case, I have to open this up again, which in the case of the extra model are the tangle-free turbine tool and the Groom tool, any extra accessories that are not the two that you see right there, any extra accessories that you would get either with your bundle in your box or separately will not store on board the machine. So unfortunately, you will have to supply storage for those separately, likely in a drawer or in a bag. Now, if you buy the Ball Animal 3 complete, I believe it, don't quote me on this, but I believe it comes with a tool bag to store your extra tools. But if it doesn't, you can buy a Dyson branded tool bag from Dyson's website. But you don't have to use a Dyson branded tool bag. It's not like they'll, force themselves to not fit into any space that isn't Dyson branded. You can put the tools wherever. You can put them in a drawer, put them on a shelf, put them, I don't know, I don't know where else you put tools. Toolbox, I guess. I don't know. So, this is the Dyson Ball Animal 3 Extra model, again, and it is fully assembled. So, if you just bought your new Dyson, like I did, now you should be good to be up and running. Now, I'm not going to plug it in and turn it on in this video because this, if you've owned any Dyson in the last 20 years, it's the same process for the most part. If you want to recline the machine, you pull the machine back, very simple. This red button turns on the machine. This silver button turns off the brush roller, turns on and off the brush roller. And when the machine is upright, just like every other Dyson, the brush roll will not be spinning, so when you're using the attachments, you don't have to worry about the brush causing any damage. Now, since I do have a Ball Animal / Animal 2, we can actually see the difference. Now, the machine itself is identical. The only difference is the cleaner head and the yoke assembly, which the yoke is that little silver piece in between the two sides of the ball, because obviously the connector is different. So no, you can't buy the new cleaner head as a spare part and attach it to your old machine. The connectors are completely different. It's not going to work. I mean, I guess theoretically you could replace the yoke, but you're not going to do that. Realistically, if you're going to put that much effort into it, just buy the new one. So, if you notice, the old head is actually quite a bit wider, but I don't see that as a downgrade personally. In fact, if I line this up side by side, you can see we lose a good inch or so. But on the old units, you had this spot right here, where the belt and everything is, where you're not really cleaning that part. So what Dyson did was, instead of making essentially the entire cleaning with, clean, as opposed to the old machine where there's a dead spot, they essentially just took the same amount of cleaning area and removed the area where the belt rides, because this has a direct drive brush bar. So, which in my opinion is the better way of doing it, because a narrower head is actually better, because the suction will be more concentrated, the power will be more concentrated, it's less complicated to run it versus a wider path, and it can also fit into tighter spaces, so in between tighter areas or smaller pieces of furniture that a bigger head just can't fit into. So there are advantages to it. So it's not a downgrade necessarily that the cleaner head is not as wide as the old one. In my opinion, it's actually a good upgrade. And it actually fits the machine more, because it makes the ball feel, well, kind of small on the old ones, because the cleaner head is so much bigger by comparison, but you're not really getting much out of it. Now, I will test the Ball Animal 3. After all, I did buy this machine literally 6 months ago, so this is still almost brand new, even though it has gotten a lot of usage. So this is a fairly fair comparison between the new unit and the old unit. Now, the old Dyson is still a great choice, especially for the less than $300 I paid for mine compared to $500 for this. So the old machines are certainly still good, but this new Ball Animal 3 series looks very intriguing, and I will be testing it in preparation for a full review. So, for those of you that just wanted to see the assembly and the unboxing of this to get your new machine up and running, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll be happy to see you in the full review. Well, unless you already bought it, in which case you probably don't need to see a review, although I'd still recommend watching it because you might learn something about your new Dyson. Now, for everybody else who might want to stay behind and let me talk about this machine for a little bit, I would love to do so. So, the story about how I got this machine is pretty intriguing because it's not what you would typically expect. Now, back whenever I sent in my Dyson DC41 for repair, which was back in December of 2021, at the time, I was under the impression that I had a 40% off coupon that I could use towards getting a new machine. Now, there's two problems with that. The first problem is that I misheard 30 as 40, which is understandable because when you're on the phone, they can sound the same. And the other difference is that the representative that I called through the main Dyson helpline told me that nothing was showing up on my account for either of my repairs that I had on my account. But what happened was I called into the service center that actually repaired my DC41, and they explained to me that actually you were right about there being a 30% off discount, but that was only there if you traded in your DC41 towards a new machine. And that if you wanted to purchase a new machine from the warehouse, it would actually be 20%. You got the 10% bonus of a discount for trading in and recycling your old machine. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. Because the interesting thing is that Dyson normally, right now, regardless of any benefits, has a members, I forgot what it's called, but it's a members rewards program, where if you're a Dyson website member, which I obviously am, you can get 20% off of select machines, keyword select machines. So if you go through the Dyson website, you actually can't apply that 20% off to the Ball Animal 3 series. They will only let you apply that to the old Dyson Ball Animal 2 or Kinetic series of machines. So if you're trying to use that members rewards on a Dyson upright, you have to use it on the last gen tech, which to me is kind of ridiculous. Like, I get it, you don't want to discount something that just came out, but that's kind of stupid because since you released a new machine, those old machines should have lower prices anyways because they're the outgoing tech. They're now officially of lesser value. There is no reason why a Dyson Ball Animal 2 should be the same price as the Dyson Ball Animal 3 Extra. That makes no sense. Because why would you buy the older vacuum to get the same price but then get one less attachment? That makes no sense. So that's a weird little side rant, but when I called into the warehouse, big shout out to John if you're watching this video, you are awesome. John hooked me up and said, well, if you buy it through the service center, you can actually get that 20% off for any machine, including the Ball Animal 3, if you order it through the service center. And he said, and the Dyson promotion of getting $100 worth of free tools still applies. So you're essentially getting $600 worth of stuff for $400 because 20% off equates to about $100 off the machine. So basically, I've got the Ball Animal 3 Extra for the same price as the base model Animal 3. Or had I purchased the base model Animal 3, I would have gotten it for about the same price, roughly, as a multi-floor Origin. But then, in addition to that, I get the extra tools. So, after all is said and done, after taxes and fees and everything, I ended up paying $440 for the Dyson Ball Animal 3 and the floor and ceiling cleaning kit. I believe that's what it's called. And I got that toolkit because it includes 2 Dyson accessories that I don't have, which is the articulating hard floor tool and the aforementioned Dyson tool bag. Also, that was boots Whenever we were trying to treat this house for bugs, unfortunately, she got out. And, well, obviously, we had to keep her outside because, that stuff's toxic. And she's not fixed yet. And as a result, she got into an altercation with another cat, and she has babies inside of her now. So she is likely going to give birth at some point to presumably 2 or 3 kittens. Hopefully not too many more because she's very small. But yes, we are going to have kittens soon. So if you notice why she's much bigger, that's why. She's got babies. So, back to the Dyson. So basically, I was able to get that deal and get a few attachments that I didn't have. In fact, all the Dyson attachments that I don't have, mainly including the Groom tool and the Heart Floor tool. So that is pretty much that. Again, a big shout out to John. The funniest thing about me talking to John is that he mentioned that because I mentioned that I was buying this not only to use it personally, but also because I run a YouTube channel where I review vacuums. Just kind of, just normal banter that most technical service representatives probably don't want to hear. But just I'm being honest. That is why I'm buying it. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I watched your video the other day on the Kinetic," and which was really funny. So I mean, I had to say the channel name. He didn't just know from my voice, but still, I thought that was really cool. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. So he's been watching everyone's videos on the Animal 3 because he himself was also very interested in seeing the Animal 3 because, well, in his words, Dyson hadn't released a newly designed upright in over 5 years. So it was very interesting, and so it's definitely pretty interesting. So, and I would agree. So yeah, this is the new Dyson Ball Animal 3 Extra. Now, I was debating on getting the normal Animal 3 because I thought, oh, maybe I'd probably like the silver color better, but no, I'm glad I got this copper. I'll be honest, like on the video the copper looks kinda tacky. In real life it's very nice. The only thing is Dyson, to my knowledge, doesn't make a cordless with this copper, and I want to get a matching upright and cordless because I did, on a side note, my Honiture H8, I actually finally found a charger for this, but Honiture did not send me one. I actually had to pay $30 for one on eBay, so even though I emailed Honiture about it several times over, and they refused to sell me a charger, which is really annoying. So yes, this machine is great for the price, but you get no support for it. So that's kind of one of the things you have to watch out for whenever you're buying something like a vacuum from a no-name company, because there's no guarantee they're going to support you if you have any issues with the product. Whereas Dyson has been the best like, just being honest, Dyson has been the best company that I've ever had to deal with in terms of warranty or after-sales support. Hands down. Bissell has gotten way worse over time, unfortunately. Hoover has always been junk. And Dirt Devil has always been junk. And just TTI in general has been really bad with warranty. And Bissell's even starting to get worse as well. So as far as, and Shark, that's a whole nother story. But as far as all the department store vacuum brands, the one, in my experience at least, that you're going to have the best experience with if you have a problem with your machine is Dyson. So, I mean, I really hope Dyson doesn't squander that like Hoover and Bissell did. But as it stands right now, out of all the vacuums that you can buy at a major store, without going into a vacuum shop, Dyson's going to be the choice if you want something that you be confident that the company will take care of you if you have a problem with it. And that's good because Dyson's the most expensive brand out of all of those, so it should be expected, don't get me wrong. Dyson doesn't necessarily deserve a pat on the back for doing the bare minimum and helping their customers, but it's something that has to be commended when everyone else is screwing up so badly. So that's another reason why, despite the fact that I don't like bagless machines in general, I am now daily driving Dysons because they're the only company that I'm confident in at this point that I could get support for my machine if I have issues with it. Now, sure, I have my Cibo G1, and I love my Cibo, but, I mean, you can't shut off the brush roller, so what good is that? Now, I will still eventually get a Felix or a Dart, and maybe that'll replace this. But right now, the Ball Animal 3 or 2, whichever one of these two machines in front of you will likely be my daily driver. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to be this one, just saying. But I've been using the Ball Total Clean ever since I got it back in January, and I've been incredibly happy with it. So I have no doubt that I'm going to love the Ball Animal 3 Extra as well. And frankly, I should, because for $440, that's still a lot of money. That's still the most that I've ever spent on a new vacuum. So we will see if this is worth it. I mean, I don't make a lot of money on YouTube, so this definitely was a good chunk out of my wallet. So hopefully the content that I make with it will make some of that back, and hopefully it'll be sort of a channel investment. But even if it's not, I'm still very happy to have it. And yeah, so big shout out to John, big shout out to Dyson for actually releasing a new freaking vacuum for once, and not abandoning uprights in favor of cordless vacuums, because not everybody wants to run a cordless every single day. I know I don't. So, well, at least not as the only machine. So, yeah, looking forward to using the Ball Animal 3 Extra, and that is that. So again, for the 17th time, big shout out to John for him hooking me up with this deal. And again, if you want a Ball Animal 3, I'd highly recommend going through your local Dyson Service Center. Or if you are willing to pay full price for it, then definitely you get those free tools. So there is something there. So yeah, I mean, you can get the base Ball Animal 3 and get a bunch of tools with it anyways. So I think for most people, that's going to be the way to go. And then for $400, you get the newest model with a bunch of tools. I think for most people, that's going to be the way to go. But yeah, so that is that. And this is Intellitech Studios signing out with my unboxing and assembly tutorial of the Dyson Ball Animal 3 Extra. So I'm really excited to use this machine, and I'm definitely really looking forward to using it. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. My ear's really starting to hurt. I need to just stop doing this video. But anyways, this is Intellitech Studios signing out. I will see you guys in the next video, and I hope you all have a good one. Peace. Oh, also, I guess before I go, I probably should see what's in this little envelope. So I don't think this is... I assume it's just going to be a manual. Yep, that would be correct. Oh, regulatory and safety compliance, UP30. Okay. Do we not get full manuals anymore? I mean, okay. See, that's kind of sad. Oh yeah, we also have this QR code thing here. My Ball Animal 3. To reduce our environmental impact, we've moved your full manual online. Okay. That explains that. So, but if you're going to do that, why do you have this big pamphlet for the safety information? You could have just put the manual in this too. So you didn't really save a whole lot if you're still giving us a full sheet of paper. But hey, credit where credit is due. That's very smart. Obviously, if you're buying the latest end Dyson, you're probably technical enough to have internet at your house. So that's pretty smart. So yeah. Still, it would be nice to have a paper manual, but I assume I can order one online. I haven't actually looked. I actually might do that. But anyways, again, I'm rambling. This is Intellitech Studios signing out. See you guys in the next video, and I hope you all have a good one. Peace.